Hello crafters, in tonight's video we're going to make a holiday card, and it's going to feature the Lights Aglow Designer Series paper, and I picked this piece here. It's the Evening Evergreen Designer Series paper with the gold embossing of the Christmas trees. And then we're also going to use the gold from the Gold and Rose Gold Designer Series paper and the Twinkling Lights dies. Hi, I'm Joan Heberlein, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I created this video for Joan's Simple Paper Crafts, found right here on YouTube. If you're new here, I want to thank you for stopping by, and if you're a returning guest, welcome back. Be sure to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below. That way you won't miss when I post a video, which is typically once a week. Now give me a few seconds to turn the camera down, and we'll get started. Here's the card we're going to make today. And we're going to use the Christmas Lights Cling Stamp Set. We're going to use this tree for the inside of the card. And then we're going to use the Twinkling Lights dies. And we'll use this one here. And we're going to use this one here. And then for the sentiment, we'll use the Merry Christmas and hoping your Christmas shines bright with the love of family and friends. Let me get this out of the way. We'll start with 4.5 inch by 11 inch piece of Evening Evergreen cardstock, and we've got it scored at 5.5 inches. So if you're using the metrics, that would be 10.8 centimeters by 27.9 centimeters, and it's scored at 14 centimeters. And I am going to use my boning tool to give it a nice crisp edge. I'm going to burnish it on both sides. Next, we're going to take our 4.1/8 inch by 5 3/8 inch of gold foil, and that would be 10.5 centimeters by 13.7 centimeters. And what I like to do is I like to use the inside of the foil so that we don't waste anything. So I am going to stamp our sentiment on that inside portion, and we'll cut that out. And we're going to use the Stays On ink. It takes a little longer to dry, but it's a solvent ink, so it won't wash off or wipe off later on. So let me get that inked up. And I'm just going to stamp it on the inside of this card here. And then we're going to put this aside to have it dry. And once it's dry, we'll cut it out. And I've already done that. So I've got this piece cut out here. And here's our remaining piece. And then we'll fussy cut this. Let me get this clean though, because this is solvent. It'll stick to the stamp. So I want to get it off here first. And I'm going to use our Stays On cleaner. Then I'm going to go rinse this in our sink. I'll be right back. I rinsed it off, so now I'm going to run it through our Stampin' scrub. I probably could have done that right away, but I'm a little bit shy about putting all that ink onto my Stampin' scrub. Okay, so what we have here is this, and this piece is dry already. I'm going to fussy cut this, and I'm going to leave some space up here so that I can die cut this star. So don't let me forget about that. And I'm just going to start up here, and I'm going to move the paper and not the scissors. Okay, I've got that done, and now I'm just going to kind of fold those edges down. And I see I kind of got a pointy here, so let me just trim that off here. think the rest looks good. So we'll set that aside for later. And next we're going to cut our designer series paper. And we want to cut that at 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. Or that would be 10.2 centimeters by 13.3 centimeters. I'm going to just put this aside. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 4 inches first. So I have the trees facing this way. That would be vertical. And I'm going to cut that with our trimmer. That's the dark blade. And then I'm going to turn it 90 degrees. And I will cut it at 5 1/4, or that would be at 13.3 centimeters. And that leaves me with the majority of these trees here. I want to point out, I also have a third blade that I put on here. This is a trimmer blade, and this is another trimmer blade, but it's old and it leaves like furries when you do cuts. So I use this when I'm cutting foil or glitter paper. So I even write glitter on here, so I know not to use it when I'm using my paper. So next we'll glue these down, and I'm going to glue them separately. Normally I would glue these pieces together, but having cut this big portion out, I didn't want to have the glue on this area. I want to make sure that I've got it all done properly. So let me get this, and I'm going to get my silicone mat here, and we're going to just glue down the gold foil first. And I'm going to use our Stampin' Seal, and I'm going to use long stripes on the edges, and then I'll just do some dashes in the sides, the short sides. So a little dash here and here, and a little dash here. Oh, let me get it going again, in here. This is a really strong tape, so you don't really need to use a lot. I have the habit of using too much tape. So I'm going to leave 1/8 of an inch for a border on all 4 sides. And then I'm just going to use my bone folder to just put pressure on there, make sure it's down flat. Then we'll do the same thing with this piece. And I'll just do little dashes here, and then we'll go along the long strip. And it's tough to get it going again, so then I just go where I have other glue and run it through that. Okay, a little bit in the middle. Then we're going to put it down 1/8 inch from the edge on all 4 sides. And I put it down upside down, so hopefully I can get it up. And if I can't, I'll have to huff it. Luckily, I've got it on this foil, and that'll release it easier than the paper. Oh, good, 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 good. You want to make sure that you check the direction of your print before you press it down. I'm going to want to make sure, here's our trees, and then we can do 1/8 of an inch from the bottom. And I think I might have just said 1/8 on the gold foil, but that was 1/16 of an inch, not 1/8. So now we have 1/8 of an inch. And I am going to use my bone folder again to get this all down flat. Let's get this down flat here. Okay, we've got that taken care of. Next we want to do is our tree. So we're going to take our tree and the dies, and we're going to cut those out from this paper. This is the gold paper from the Gold and Rose Gold specialty paper. And I am going to put it on this sheet here. Be sure to position the die so that it follows the vertical lines, where you can get 3 across here. And then I'll take this to my cut and emboss machine, but I've already done that, so I've got it right here for us. So I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back, and we've got these small dimensionals here that I'm going to use. You could use large dimensionals, but then you got to watch the placement of them a lot more closely, because there, as you can see holes through here, and you wouldn't want to have a dimensional here blocking those holes. It would show up white where normally you would see black through there, or the evergreen through there. So let's just get these taken care of. I'm going to put one up here, and we'll put one right here. And I'm just going to go like every other side. Right about there, right about here, right above that garland there. And right below, right down here. I think I'm putting it on the paddle a little too deep, and it was sticking to the paddle more so than the paper. And then I'm going to put one right in the middle here. Yeah, I think I'll put one more there. Seems to be a long stretch between the two. So we'll switch the paddle around to the pick portion of the Take Your Pick, and we'll take these paper backings off. I really love this Take Your Pick. It's easier to take these off with the Take Your Pick tool than with my fingernails. Okay. Then what we want to do is we want to put this in the center of this card. Let's see if we can't get it back here on this paper here and figure out where the center is. I think I had it right about there. And then I'm going to just drop it right there. And we'll take our Merry Christmas, and oop, we've got a dimensional right where there's a hole there. So I'm just going to move the foam behind it. That's going to work like that. I just pushed it up. So we'll need to put dimensionals on this as well. And we'll go across the bottom. And I can use my Take Your Pick tool with the pick portion as well. And I'm going to use 3 dimensionals across the bottom. Sorry if my head's getting in the way. And then we're going to put glue on the top portion. And I'm going to use this multi-purpose glue, but I have it in these tiny bottles with a needle nose tip, so it makes it easier for me to navigate it. Get just a little bit there. And we'll bring it back in. And we're going to marry it to the card. I'm just going to hold it in place because of the gold foil. It takes a little bit to absorb the glue. So I'm just holding that in place. And you know what? I didn't take the dimensionals off the back side. That's why it was moving more so than it should have. So let me take those dimensionals off, or the paper backings off. And let's try marrying it again. And hopefully I can get it down in the same spot, because I don't want to have glue on the foil. I think that's about right there. There we go. That works better. Okay. Then we need our gold star, and that's where we're going to use this to cut out this piece here, which I've already done. So it cuts out a little star. I have one right here for us. And I am just going to put that on with a glue dot. I tried a dimensional before when I did that first card, and it was way too big because there's a dimensional behind the top part of the portion of that. And I misshot here, so I'm going to just take my Take Your Pick tool and position the dimensional down farther. Hopefully I can get it to move. There we go. And then we're just going to put it right in the center portion, right there. All right. Then we need our gems. And we'll put one right in the center portion. I'm going to turn this back to the paddle again. And we'll take this and put that on the very top of our tree. And we're going to put some on top of the other trees, the surrounding trees. So right here. and right here, and right here. Now you could add some along here if you wanted to, but I liked it that way, just with the treetops having it on there. So we need to do the inside of our card yet. So let me get this out of the way. We have our 4 inches by 5 1/4 inch piece of Very Vanilla. And what we're going to do here is we're going to stamp it with our soft seafoam. I should have had this open already. So we're going to stamp it with our soft seafoam. And I'm going to get this out of the way for right now. We'll just use our paper. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try stamping and using the 2nd generation. But first I want to do is remove the ink that's on the red rubber all the way around here. I don't do a very good job with that large stamp. So I'm removing the green that's right around the edges of the stamp. If I didn't do that, it would leave a ring most likely. I'm going to do on this paper here, and then onto the cardstock. And I'm going to just rub it, make sure that we get it all really good. And I think that's just perfect. And I'm going to close this up so I don't put my elbow in it. And then let me finish cleaning this up. And we're going to use our Stampin' Scrub again to get this cleaned up. And I'm going to use our Stampin' Mist. Before I had water on that stamp, so I didn't really need to put any more mist on here, but now I want to have some mist on there to get the ink off from here. Very good. Next we need to do is stamp our sentiment on the top of that, and we're going to use our Stays On ink again. That'll give us a nice bold color. We're going to use the Jet Black Stays On ink. We want to make sure we get that on there right near the center. There we go. And we can close that up. Then I'm going to just clean this up again. And I'm going to go and rinse this off real quick. And I don't like to go directly to here with all that ink on there because it muddies up this coloring. So that's why I rinse it off at the sink. But then I can come and finish scrubbing it with this. So we've got that clean now. Let me get this cleaned up. So then we're going to just put this on the card, and we're going to use our seal again, and I'm going to just get our mat out again. I'm using just dashes with this seal because it is strong. Don't need to have complete 100% coverage on it, so but I'm trying to make sure I get the corners really good, so that's why I'm backtracking sometimes to make sure the corner has been done properly. Right here again. All right, then we can take that on the inside of our card. Let me get this out of the way again. And then we're going to have 1/8 of an inch for a border on this. On all 4 sides. And let me take this. Okay. I'm going to put this down. We are done with this card. That's our first card, and this is our second card. I hope you liked this project as much as I did. Why don't you give it a try? Now, if you've enjoyed today's video, would you do me 2 favors? Click the thumbs up emoji, which means you like it, and would you share it on social media with your crafting friends and pin it to Pinterest? These actions will help me to keep sharing my ideas with other crafters for free and I'd really appreciate that. Be sure to hit the subscribe button below so you won't miss any future videos. If you have any questions, be sure to contact me. I'm here to help in any way that I can. And if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Just reach out to me. If you'd like to place a Stampin' Up! Order or like a catalog, hop over to my website where you'll find the Shop Now button. To shop with me, you'll need to go to joanheberlein.stampinup.net. Mark your calendars. I'll be back next Saturday, November 12th at 7 p.m. Central Time. We'll be doing another holiday card. I hope you'll be here to join me. Thanks so much for being here with me tonight, and I look forward to next time. Bye for now, and don't forget to subscribe.